I might have done it again. I might have, imported a Chinese machine without any reviews, which looked great. So this is a tumbler. Let's unpack it and let's see if it's any good. So here's the bottom side of it. It's already an in-depth review, I suppose. So this is the rotary weight, which will spin around. Then it will vibrate all the media which is in these bags. So let's take a first look. This is where the wiring goes. Although I've never seen blue, yellow and red before. This is the tumbler itself. It's quite a decent size. Even more so if you put like a folding knife in it. And you can see that you can tumble quite a lot of blades in there. Here is a valve for water. Those are the balancing springs that will make the rotation into a vibrating motion. And well, this is the cup. And it's really nice casted polyurethane. So looks okay. Wasn't that cheap, wasn't that expensive, and but it looks durable. And now I just have to get them wired up. So I just put the tumbler in place. I'm gonna place them here, and now it's time to do the electrical. And I have to say, the wiring is on that side. What you get is just 3 lines coming out of it. Yellow, blue and red. There is like no single wiring scheme in the world that's looking like this. So we're going to rewire everything. Also at a ground. But I have 3-phase 280 volts. I've been in contact a lot with the supplier. And they said it's direct to that. So 3-phase. So just gonna wire them up. But first I'm gonna crimp them because like this, no. The factory Inovatec told me to then load up a little bit of polishing media in here, because then you can see if the motor spins to the right direction. So let's do that. Of course, we're using one of our own pocket knives. This is what you usually see on YouTube, stuff like that, so I think that's working fine. Now might actually be a good time to tell you guys that I just didn't bought one, I bought 2. So this is really coarse smoothing media, and this is really fine finishing media. And the plan has always been this knife, my oyster knife, this is actually one that ripped out early out of the mill, to first heat treat it. Now it's the first one in the oven. Then smooth it out so that you have like in these lines that are left from milling, that they are not sharp anymore, but still there, still visible. Then do like blue anodizing, and then do the finishing media. I think that looks, well, that should look awesome. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we're going to go step by step. And then we're going to also prove that a titanium oyster knife is viable and will last you a lifetime. The recipe for hardening titanium is actually quite simple, but somehow the blade is still a bit warped. It's slightly out, you can see it makes a curve like this, but it's not all too bad for shocking oysters. So I'm gonna continue with this blade to see if I can get all the processes dialed down. What I've noticed with tumbling so far is that you need to have a very uniform finish to start off with. If you have like a grinding mark here, but not on the rest of the blade, it will look different. Okay, so I just touched up everything with a Dremel that I didn't like, all grinding marks, and now I'm going to put in the second layer of sandblasting, just to make sure that I have an as equal finish as possible. Now ready to go tumbling. So this is actually the first real try at using this tumbler. So here it shoots smooth all out, and then we're going to anodize the grease, make a nice blue color on it, and then we're going to polish real quick in the polishing tumbler. So I'm really curious if it works out. Spend a lot of money on the ID with the mill and the tumblers, and if it doesn't work out, I'll always have work for them, but I really hope it works out. Would be a nice step forward. Here's how it looks after the first tumble, and I really like this surface here and that one over there, and I can't help but wonder that if I anodize it like blue and then polish it in fine polishing media, if there is like a trace of blue left in the letters of the logo and the lines. I've been busy all morning trying to set up my anodizing station. I need to streamline this for the future, but first see if it works. So I've just been ultrasonically cleaning the knife. This is the grease, and now I'm going to do it in a solution called Titan Edge, which etches the surface so that you can get brighter and better colors. And then you have to see if the surface has a certain matte feature on it, and then you can take it out. Also, if you screw up the anodizing, you can remove the oxide by putting it in Titan Edge. Put on the plus bowl, and then let's give you guys a nice close-up. Okay, so it's now in the anodizing tank. Voltage is at 0. I'm gonna put voltage on 30. Which is now amber. I'm gonna start the process like this. I have some salt crystals on there. I don't know why, or but I do like it. It's not one piece, but it has a nice color on it. This is the knife post anodizing, and now I'm going to throw it into the fine media tumbler, and hopefully that will help with creating highlights in all the small little ridges. I really try to do proper storytelling. That means a story has a beginning, has an end, and has a body in between. And especially the end, you want to have like a positive, nice ending. The reality of it is, business sometimes gets in the way. So I was finishing this knife, and then I got the opportunity to send it out quickly for testing. So Andre Linting from Oyster Crackers, he is a professional oyster chucker, and he was going to do 800 oysters in Amsterdam that weekend. And so I just grabbed it out of the tumbler, rinsed it under the sink, and then sent it out. And then I thought, I'll finish the video, I'll make a happy ending when the knife's back, the reality of it was the tip snapped off. So that's a whole new video trying to figure out what happened, if it was heat treated, stuff like that, if titanium's gonna work, and if it has longevity to battle against oysters for long enough. But the reality of it was I didn't have a proper ending to this film. So what to do? Well, it was a film about tumbling, about these two Chinese tumblers that I bought from Inovatec, and I really have to say I like them. I've done a couple of knives so far, a couple of other projects in titanium. They seem to be working really well for the price. They're just a lot better than what you would get if you get like one of those spinny tumblers from Amazon for 150 euro. The bigger, you could put in 4 or 5 or 6 knives. They have the valves, which is great. The factory is supportive. If I ask a question, they'll always reply. I said, like, where can I buy polishing compound for the polishing media? And they gave me the address. So yeah, they are a nice addition to the shop. They seem to be working. We'll have to test them out further when we get this knife into production, if we'll get this knife in production. But yeah, well, that's the rest of the series. For now, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please consider subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video, which will be about titanium duration testing. Thank you.